Hello, my name is Shanti with Shanti La Yoga for Calistoga Fits. Introducing you to yoga movement with breath, beginning to focus yoga for the athlete, yoga for the individual that loves to go to the gym, do circuits, do athletics, focusing greatly on the thighs, the hamstrings, the calves. So we'll begin by taking a comfortable seat, either cross-legged, or one can also sit with your legs folded underneath you with your hands resting on your thighs. I myself prefer cross-legged. Sitting up nice and tall, take your hands to your thighs and close the eyes. Allow the breath to enter in through the nose. Flood the body full with breath. And as you exhale, allow the breath to expel from the body through the nose. So the breath enters in through the nose and exhales through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhale. Release your fingertips to the floor beside you, integrating movement to your breath. Reach your palms to face up, inhaling on the in-breath. Arms float up overhead. And exhaling, palms face away from one another, reaching the fingertips wide down back to the floor. Inhale, floating the arms up overhead. Keeping your eyes closed for this, really focusing on the breath to movement. Exhaling, fingertips back by your sides. Inhaling. At the top of this in-breath, gently float the eyes open. Take your gaze in between your palms. And exhale, reach your left hand to the floor. Reach your right fingertips up and crescent over. Breathing here. Keep walking that left hand out as far as you need to draw the left shoulder back. Anchor down through the hips, coming through center, and exhale to the other side. Reaching up and crescenting over. Breathing here. Walking that right hand out as far as you need to draw the right shoulder back. Inhale through center and release your palms in front of the heart. Come to the mat onto hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide like starfish. Your wrist creases are parallel to the front of the mat. Your toes are tucked under. Your knees are hip distance apart. Moving into cat and cow. Inhale, arch through the spine. Take your tail and the crown of your head up towards the sky. As you exhale, push into the floor, rounding through the spine, releasing the head in between the arms. 2 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Round. Inhale and exhale and round. Coming through neutral spine. Reach your left leg back behind you, toes pointing straight down. Breathing here, lift the back thigh a little bit higher and draw the belly button in. Breathing here, inhale and exhale. Point your toes out about 45 degrees. Inhale, draw the navel in, lift that leg a little higher. Exhale, take the knee to outer shoulder. Inhale all the way back. And exhale, knee to outer shoulder. Getting into the hip. Inhale all the way back. And exhale, knee to outer shoulder. Extend all the way back. Point your toes to the floor and release. Other leg all the way up and back. Toes pointing straight down. Lift the thigh a little bit higher. Draw the navel in. Point your toes out 45 degrees. Exhaling, knee to outer shoulder. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to outer shoulder. And once more. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, knee to outer shoulder. Extend, point your toes and release. Untuck the toes. Push all the way back into a child's pose. Allow the fingertips to stay connected to the floor. Palms lift and release the head. Breathing here. Inhale, come forward to tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Lift your knees, lifting your hips and pressing all the way back, downward facing dog. Bend through the right knee and then through the left. 2 more times on either side, opening up the hips and the backs of the legs. Then come through center, lengthen both heels evenly towards the floor. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. Exhale, release the knees. Press back, keeping the toes tucked under into a child's pose. Lift the palms, release the head. Inhale, release the palms, hips high, downward facing dog. 2 more times. Inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, release the knees. Lift the palms, release your head on the breath. Inhale, come forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, release the knees, lift the palms all the way back. Child's pose variation. Inhale, come to tabletop. Extend that right leg all the way back and take it to the outside your right wrist. Lift that back knee high. Wide-legged low lunge. Breathing here. Keep the thigh lifted. Keep extended through the back heel and out through the front knee. Breathing here. Exhale, release that knee. Step it back. Down dog. Come forward plank pose. Knees to the floor. Hips back. Lift your palms. Come to the fingertips and release the forehead to the earth. Inhale, forward tabletop. Extend the opposite leg back. Step it to the outside of your wrist. And extend that back knee. Full body breathing here. Inhaling. Lift that back thigh. Exhale, stretch through the legs. Taking your gaze forward. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release that back knee. Step it back. Hips high, downward facing dog. Come forward, plank pose. Release the knees, press back. Lift the palms and release your head, extended child's pose. Inhale, come forward, tabletop. Reach your right leg up, back behind you. Step it to the outside of your wrist. Lift that back knee high. Breathing here. Inhale, extend through the legs. As you exhale, release the knee to the floor. And take your hips back, lifting your toes off the floor. Perhaps you need to walk your hands in. Keep your hips squared, opening the back of your leg. Breathing here. Inhale, come forward, releasing the foot. Exhale, settle deeply through the hips, looking forward, drawing your shoulders back. Full breath in. As you exhale, take the hips back and bow. Inhaling, float forward. So you're undulating forward and back. Exhale and back. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. Place your palms to the floor. Bend through that front knee. And release. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Lengthening the heels towards the floor. Lengthening the crown of the head towards the floor and drawing the ribs in. Look forward, plank pose. Exhale, take the knees to the floor. Release back. Extended child's pose, lift your palms. Release the head to the floor. Inhale, come through. Tabletop, extend the opposite leg back. Step it to the outside of your wrist. Breathing here. Extend that back knee. Inhale, release that back knee, take the hips back, straightening that front leg, lifting the toes, coming to the heel. You might need to walk your hands in order to do so. Breathing here, opening up the back of your leg. Inhale, release that foot to the floor, settle deeply through the hips, look forward. And exhale, hips back, lifting up and back. Inhale, forward. Shoulders back, take your gaze forward. Exhale, all the way back. Inhale, come forward. And release that leg, come back. Release your palms, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, knees to the floor. Come all the way back, extended child's pose. Lift your palms, your armpits are lifted and the head releases towards the floor. Breathing here. Now untuck the toes and wrap your arms around to touch your feet, allowing the shoulders to round in. Breathing here. Full body breathing. Inhale, curl through the spine, coming all the way up to sit. Take your hands back behind you, fingertips pointing back. Press the tops of the thighs into your seat. Draw the shoulders back, hug the elbows in. Look up and open up the chest. Breathing here. Keep pushing into the floor with your feet, your fingertips, your shins, opening up the chest. Depending on how open you are, you may need to walk your hands slightly closer towards your hips. Keep hugging the elbows in, lifting up, leaning the head back, breathing here. And then release, come forward into tabletop. Tucking the toes under. All the way up and back, downward facing dog. Look forward in between your hands. Take micro steps, walking all the way forward. If you need to bend your feet, your knees, in order to touch the floor, do so. Your feet are hip distance apart. Lengthen the heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, push into the floor and bow, releasing the head. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and bow. And once more, lengthening forward. Exhale and bowing. Take your hands to your hips. Take the torso parallel to the floor, elbows high to the sky and hugging together. Breathing here. Push through the legs. Draw your belly button in and rise to stand. Tadasana. Release your hands by your sides, palms facing forward, shoulders back. Breathing here. Full body breathing. Feeling the body. Relaxing your jaw. Take your hands to the hips and take a wide stance on the mat. Toes are pointing straight forward. The outer edges of your feet are parallel to the mat. Take your hands to the hips, elbows wide. And take a slight bend through the knees. Inhale, hug the hips in and anchor the hips down. Keep inhaling and draw the shoulders up and draw the shoulders back. And now exhale, straighten the legs by pushing through the feet. Breathing here. Now take your elbows, so crossing the elbows, it looks like so from the back, crossing the elbows over one another. Keep hugging them together, keep pushing down through the legs, draw the shoulders up and back, breathing here. Keep pushing down through the legs. Inhale, open up the toes towards the right. So face you again, towards the right. Bend your knee deeply, keeping the forearms crossed. And take your gaze towards the right knee. Breathing here. Now release the arms. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Inhaling and exhale. Take your forearms to cross back behind you again. Draw the shoulders up and back. Straighten that front leg. Parallel your feet forward. Opening it now towards the left. Left toes pointing straight forward. Bend deeply through that front knee. Take your gaze towards the direction of your knee. Hips and shoulders are open. Breathing here. Release the arms. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Being steady through the legs, steady with the breath. One more breath, inhaling and exhaling. Parallel the feet forward. Cross your forearms once again. Option here to go a little further is interlace your hands back behind you. Draw the shoulders up and back. Press the palms towards the floor and lean the head back. Breathing here. This is a level 2 option. Level 1 option would be here. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Release the arms up overhead and release your hands to the hips. Hop your feet together. Tadasana at the top of the mat. Reach your arms up overhead and exhale your hands down by your sides. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, bow over the legs, Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Lengthen the heart forward. Exhale and bow in. Place your palms to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Come forward, plank pose. Take your gaze slightly forward, keep extending through the heels. Take the knees to the floor, press it back, lift the palms, release your forehead, extended child's pose. Inhale, come forward, untuck the toes. Take your knees wide as your mat. Allow the big toes to touch and press all the way back, child's pose, getting into the hips. Take the palms to touch, bend the elbows, and place the palms behind your head, palms facing up, breathing here. Full body breathing. Exhale, release the palms. Take your palms wide, take your forearms wide, come forward and extend your leg back and come lie on your bellies. Untucking the toes, Sphinx pose. Your forearms and palms are pressing into the floor. Your shoulders are directly over your elbows. Hug the elbows in and melt the heart towards the floor. Keep pressing the tops of the feet, the legs, and the pelvis into the floor. Breathing here. One more breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Take your left hand in 90 degrees, bend your right leg, grab hold of it with your right foot. Kick the foot back into your hand, hug the back knee in, and then hug that foot to the outer edge of your hip. Breathing here. Take it to the next level, take your gaze forward. Keep carving your pubic bone forward, lengthening the tailbone. Breathing here, opening up your thigh. And then exhale, release. Coming through Sphinx, feeling the difference between the top of the left to right thigh. Other side. Forearm comes in, bend the opposite leg, grab hold of the back of the foot. Take a gaze at your back foot. Kick your foot into your hand, then hug it to the outer edge of that hip. Take your gaze forward. Keep lengthening your tailbone towards the back toes. Breathing here. Keep anchoring the back knee down. One more breath. Inhaling and exhale. Release that back leg. Coming to one more breath. Sphinx pose. Melting the heart slowly towards the floor. And take your elbows wide and rest your forehead on your palm and rock side to side. And then gently find your way onto your backs. Soles of the feet to the floor, knees to the sky. Take your palms by your sides, facing up. Full body breathing, allowing the front of the body to settle into the floor, feeling the support of the floor. Full body breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Cross your right ankle over left knee. Keep your toes active. This protects your ankle and it protects the knee. So the big toe and the pinky toe are drawing in towards the knee evenly. Interlace your right hand in between the legs. Grab hold of the back of that thigh and activate the other foot. Breathing here. Hug the thigh in, then onto that, press the thigh back out. Anchoring the tailbone, drawing the belly button in, shoulders back, throat open. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep hugging the thigh in and pressing the thigh back out. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, inhaling. And as you exhale, release the back of that thigh, release your foot and unhook. Switching sides. Left ankle to right knee. Grab hold of the back of that thigh. Active toes. Hug the thigh in and press the thigh back out, anchoring the pelvis. Draw the belly button in and breathe. So this is opening up your hip. Especially, you might feel the sensation elsewhere, but it's definitely opening up the hip. Breathing here. Keeping the shoulders back, the front of the throat open, pressing the head into the earth. One more breath, inhaling, and exhale, release that leg to the floor, and unhook. Take your feet wide as your mat, take your hands out to a T, and take windshield wipers. Take your knees all the way over towards the right, and inhale through center, and exhale all the way towards the left. 2 more times, inhaling, up and over towards the right, and exhaling up through center towards the left. Once more to either side. Inhale and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Keeping your arms just as they are. Walk the feet close together. Inhale, draw the knees in, active toes at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, hug the thighs together, and exhale your knees all the way over towards the right for a twist. Keep drawing the left ribs towards the earth as the knees move towards the right. Option to take your right hand to the knees to find resistance, and taking your gaze towards the left if available. Breathing here. Inhale, release. Engage your inner thighs together, coming all the way through center, activating your abdominals. And exhale all the way over towards the left. Allowing the knees to come all the way to the floor. If by chance your shoulder is popping up, release your hand as far as you need towards your torso to get that opposite shoulder down. Option to take your left hand to the knees to get resistance, to allow the opposite ribs to settle towards the floor. Level 1, take your gaze up towards the sky. Level 2, take your gaze towards your palm. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. One more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, hug the thighs together, release the hands, come all the way through center. Release your heels towards your seat and wrap your arms around your legs and hug your chin towards your knees. Breathing here. And exhale, release the legs long on the mat. Take your palms by your sides, facing up, and release the legs fully. You can even shimmy your legs side to side, settling in for your Shavasana. Shavasana being the most important posture of the yoga practice, that which integrates all that we've done just now. So here we close our eyes, and the physical body is resting. Relaxing your jaw, allowing your eyes to get heavy, melting into the floor. Allowing your skin to get supple and soft. Begin to deepen the breath, bringing gentle movement into your fingertips and toes. Reach your arms alongside the ears and stretch through the legs and through the arms. And as you exhale, draw the knees towards the chest. Roll to the right side, stacking your hips, your shoulders, and resting a moment. And press down into the floor, coming all the way up to sit. Taking your preferred seated position. You'll have your eyes closed and soft. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Palms to touch, exhaling in front of the heart. The spirit within me honors and respects the spirit within you. We bow to our hearts. Namaste.